The avoidant person exists in a perpetual state of emotional contradiction, simultaneously craving and rejecting the very love they desperately need. This internal conflict creates a psychological phenomenon where the people who offer them the most genuine care become the targets of their deepest resentment. Their nervous system, conditioned to associate love with danger, triggers hostile responses toward those who attempt to breach their emotional fortress. This paradoxical hatred emerges not from a lack of feeling, but from an overwhelming abundance of emotions they cannot safely process or express. Love feels like a threat to their identity. The avoidant person has constructed their entire sense of self around the principle of emotional independence and self sufficiency. When someone loves them deeply, it challenges this fundamental identity by suggesting they need another person for completeness. This creates an existential crisis where accepting love feels like psychological annihilation. Their partner's affection becomes a mirror reflecting their own neediness and vulnerability, qualities they have spent years suppressing and denying. The intensity of genuine love triggers their deepest fear of losing autonomy and control over their emotional landscape. They experience their partner's care as an invasion that threatens to expose the wounded, dependent parts of themselves they work so hard to hide. This perceived threat to their carefully maintained self image generates hostile feelings toward the very person offering them what they most desperately want. The love that should feel like safety instead feels like suffocation, creating resentment toward their partner for making them feel vulnerable and exposed. They resent their own emotional dependency. Beneath their facade of independence, the avoidant person develops a secret dependency on their partner's love and validation that contradicts their self image as emotionally self sufficient. When they catch themselves caring deeply or needing their partner's presence, they experience profound shame and self directed anger. However, this internal rage often gets projected outward onto their partner, who becomes the scapegoat for their own unwanted emotional needs. Their partner's ability to affect them emotionally feels like weakness, and they hate both themselves and their partner for this perceived vulnerability. They resent needing someone they believe should be dispensable, and this resentment grows stronger as their emotional attachment deepens. The more they love, the more they hate themselves for loving, and consequently, the more they hate the person who inspired such dangerous feelings. Their partner becomes a living reminder of their own emotional fragility and human neediness. Their partner represents everything they fear becoming. The avoidant person often unconsciously chooses partners who embody the emotional openness and vulnerability they have rejected in themselves. These partners serve as repositories for all the feelings and needs the avoidant person cannot safely express. Watching their partner cry, need comfort, or express emotions freely triggers intense discomfort because it reflects the parts of themselves they have disowned and buried. Their partner's emotional expression becomes a constant reminder of their own suppressed humanity, creating a strange form of hatred rooted in self rejection. They despise their partner for displaying the very qualities they secretly long to express, but fear will lead to abandonment or rejection. This projected self hatred manifests as criticism, contempt, or emotional cruelty toward their partner's natural emotional responses, as if punishing their partner for being everything they wish they could be but dare not become. Love triggers their deepest wound. Their the avoidant person's capacity for love inevitably awakens the original wound that created their attachment style. Genuine connection resurrects memories and feelings from early experiences of love followed by loss, abandonment, or betrayal. Their current partner becomes unconsciously associated with past figures who caused them pain, triggering defensive responses that feel completely disproportionate to the present situation. Their hatred emerges as a preemptive strike against anticipated abandonment, rejection, or disappointment that they believe is inevitable in all loving relationships.